Today, I will be interviewing the beautiful Kelz Allen, who I'm meeting for the first time on Zoom. We kind of met on a challenge that Sarah Ann was doing. Sarah Ann is a brilliant coach helping you grow your business. And this one was particularly on growing your Facebook group. And one of the things she asked us to do was to connect with other people in the group and create interview opportunities. So here we are doing this thing for the first time. My name is Lauren Kinghorn. I'm a transformation life coach. The thing that I've been most interested in for most of my life is longevity, not just longevity, but health and wellness and living long and healthy and happy. I'm writing a book called The 7 Natural Laws of Longevity. And the first one is all around mindset and self-talk. Negative self-talk is known to make you get older.
Yes, and I agree with the negative self-talk, but I didn't know it actually can make your life shorter, did you say?
Yes. So there's actually been some studies on it. So I thought that could tie in nicely with what you do if I've got a good feel for what you do. But let's just see how the chat evolves. So, Kelz, it was so lovely to meet you on Sarah Ann's Grow Your Group chat.
Yes. Lovely to meet you.
Wonderful.
Really great people in that challenge.
It was amazing, wasn't it? Did you get a lot out of it?
I did, actually. I did. I have grown my group slightly, and I am continually working using the tips that she shared to just continually grow it. So yeah, it's been great.
Fantastic. And what's your group called, Kelz?
Soulful Spa Spiritual Lounge.
Oh, that sounds amazing. So that is a good segue into what is it that you do, Kelz? I'd love to hear.
Thank you. So I am a soulful hypnotherapist and a multidimensional healer. So I started off as a clinical hypnotherapist, but I missed my magic. I missed the spiritual side. So I now combine the two. So we still have elements of clinical hypnotherapy within it, but we do it in a spiritual way. You know, we look at inner child healing or past life. We do a lot of energy healing through the hypnotherapy. So it really makes for a powerful session. I mainly work with women who have been through trauma, childhood abuse, domestic violence, and any kind of trauma that they feel that's holding them back. And it could be small, little traumas, but you still have that element of limiting beliefs and subconscious blocks and not able to live the life that they are meant to, So it's really clearing, healing, negative self-talk, really working through all of that so that they can live a beautiful life, a life of freedom and feel safe.
Oh, that is so good. It ties so beautifully into what I've been looking into lately, because I found this post on, there's this huge group on Facebook called Aging Gracefully. And there was just a little post that popped up and it said, name something that you remember your mom telling you when you were younger or something like that. And then I thought, I had so many things that my mom had told me, like all these beautiful things that she used to say and that she still says to me, I love you, I'm proud of you. Anyway, and it said just one thing. So I thought, okay, I'm just going to put, I love you so much. And then I just put a little image, best mom ever. And I got a flood of comments below that. And it was actually devastating to see how many people had parents giving them such negative messages. I mean, most of the answers on the post were negative. I would say probably 80% of them. There were 20% of people who were actually saying that their parents said positive things to them. I didn't realize that so many people had such unhappy childhoods or just such negative messages coming at them. And it really explains to me why there is so much negative self-talk. And it made me think, I want to do this mini workshop with people to help guide them through clearing all of that, undoing all of that negative self-talk, undoing all those messages that came at them. So I'd love to hear how you do it, Kelz. So what is it that you do that helps people work through all of those issues?
So we do a really lovely spiritual regression session. So we look at the issue that the client may be facing,
Mhm.
And then we set the intention to go back to that very, very root, the seed of the issue that's playing out. So then we go into a really lovely journey, meditation, deep hypnotherapy, and we basically go back. So we allow the client to see, and we don't go down into it. So it's like looking down from a bird's eye view. So it's like, a spiritual journey. You go up and then you slowly come back down. So you can just see, so that you're not going in and feeling in case it is traumatic. And I'm very careful about that. And we also do it in such a beautiful, nurturing way. We might bring your guides with you, or your angels with you, or when you're supported with energy so that you feel safe enough to do it. And a lot of the time, every single time, it is something that a parent has said or done or seen. It's always childhood. We do sometimes have past life, but yeah, like you say, 80% is childhood, where they've seen or they've just been neglected, or just those words of not encouragement, like you can't do that. And sometimes it can be protection, the parents thinking that they're giving them protection, but it's really stifling them from going for their dreams.
Wow. Wow. So
But yeah.
sometimes they're actually not meaning it in a bad way, but the
Mm,
child is so young that they take it in the wrong
mm,
way and they're
yeah,
still stuck in that. Interesting.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
hypnotherapy is so good for that, isn't it? It's
yes.
about the only, well, probably not the only thing, but it's one of the best ways to reprogram all of those unconscious, because you're in the unconscious mind, right? When you're
Yeah,
in
yeah,
self-hypnosis.
yes,
Is it
yes.
called
And
self-hypnosis when you lead them in?
I kind of call it trance, really. So when we're having
Okay.
just like a normal session, so if we're not doing the regression,
Mm-hmm.
we can just do like a normal. And what I do, which is quite lovely, is that I might guide you into your own sanctuary, your own healing room
Mm.
to relax. And then I go through the positive suggestions. So then you're nice, deeply relaxed, and then your subconscious mind is more open to receive the positive suggestions, because when we natural will always, I think it's called a critical faculty, where
Mm-hmm.
we will naturally reject positive talk, positive compliments. So when you're in that nice deep trance, you get past that and your subconscious mind is more open to receiving. So what I might do for some clients is we can record that session, with the positive talk, whether it's confidence or self-love, and they can continue to listen to it
Mm-hmm.
so that it starts to change, because we can change our neural pathways, and it is through repetition, through listening, and really having that positive self-talk. So hypnotherapy is a lovely relaxing way to rewire the negative thoughts. Definitely, it really, really, really helps.
Wow, that is incredible. It must be so amazing to have a session with you. And then, so it's now recorded, it's your own session. It's not like just going and listening to anybody else's I am statements, or
Mm,
you're
no,
actually working through your own ones. So it
yes,
doesn't always happen instantly in a session, right? Do you find that if they listen a few times or over the next month or two, that it's going to really get the best benefit?
so that would be the clinical way, yes, over
Mm-hmm.
time. But what I'm finding, which might be a bit of my zone of genius, is that
Ooh.
I'm bringing in the multidimensional healing within it.
Ah.
So I find now combining it with multidimensional healing and Atlantic healing, that
Ooh.
it's changing, it's quicker.
Okay.
The belief, I shifted a belief this week in 15 minutes, and this was just doing the healing. So I
Wow.
feel like it's still nice for a client to listen, having a listen, even if it's for a week or 21 days. But
Mhm.
I'm noticing now that they get it, that this positive self-talk is shifting a lot quicker. Like clinical hypnotherapy can take around 8 weeks,
Okay.
depending, 8 to 12 weeks, depending on the issue. But bringing in the healing, because we're releasing the energy that's holding on. As we know, trauma and anxiety and is stored in the body.
Mhm.
So we do the energetic healing to clear the body remove the negative energy that's holding on. And then I feel like it's even easier to change those beliefs and the patterns and the conditioning, and goes on.
That is amazing. Wow. And how did you get into this, Kelz?
So it was through my own journey, through my own healing, wanting to heal. I think it was in my early 20s, and I was in the corporate world, and I started getting anxiety and a little bit of depression, and you go to the doctors and they're not really helping you to get to the root of the problem. They don't suggest exercise, they don't suggest they just want to give you medication. And I do not condone, I mean, I don't feel that medication is bad, but I wanted to understand why. And then they put me on this waiting list that was like for 12 weeks, and it just didn't feel right to me. So I kind of went on my own little journey, and that's when I found Reiki. I met a lovely lady who was a Reiki master, and I started having sessions, and the change was so quick. I started feeling better in myself. So I then went to learn Reiki from her teacher, and it literally just went from there. Then I was curious about the mind and how the mind works, and understanding why people do things the way they do and where it comes from. So that's how I got into hypnotherapy. So combining the two was from COVID, actually, where we had lockdown because I couldn't work in my clinic. So that was where I was like, okay, now I can do it my way. And
Amazing.
yeah, it's great. It's been really
Oh,
really rewarding.
that is so incredible. We've got such a similar path because I also am a Reiki master as well from 30 years ago.
Yeah.
I also combine energy healing with my work. It's wonderful. And yes, it is faster to help people move through things. So what happens typically in a session? Do you sit with somebody and talk about things first to kind of get in there and then create the session around that? Or how does it work?
Yeah. So we kind of spend about a good half an hour going through the psychotherapy part, really seeing what the issues are. I suppose I'm a bit of a spiritual teacher as well, so I do love to give guidance. I do love to give tools and teach clients tools that they can use outside of the session. So we go through all of that, and sometimes, they just need the voice. They need to be able to speak on it, and we just give them that nurturing, safe space to do so. So then, yes, we work through, look at what's going on for them, where they want to get to as well. Because I always find it important to just see their desires, their goals, even if it's their big dreams and they feel it's unattainable, so that you can start to build a picture, so that we can start to clear. And then we work on clearing all that, the voices, the limitations, the blocks, so that they can get on the path to where they want to be. So we do that part first, and then we do the hypnotherapy and the healing together. So sessions can be about 90 minutes, but then they can relax, and they just have to really listen. And depending on what kind of session it is, so if we're doing the regression, you will speak through, because I'll be asking you questions. Where are you? What do you see? And even with past life clearing, which we do a lot of sessions on, that can be so transformational in one session. One of my ladies, we did the first session, ended up being a past life clearing, and we cleared her physical aches and pains just from that one session. She had fibromyalgia, and she was very, like, she could just about move her shoulders and her neck. And when we spoke about 3 days later, she's like, I can move. My head feels calm. And that was just from a life. So she said she'd never felt her mind just clear and calm in years.
What a result.
Yeah.
Amazing. Because so many people suffer from fibromyalgia.
I
That's
know.
another huge one.
It is. I didn't realize how popular that it was. I have had quite a few clients with that.
Yeah. Another niche
Clearing the
within the
diseases.
niche. Another niche within your niche. So
That's true. Yeah.
it's always
Yeah.
wonderful. You just never know where it's going to lead. It's incredible.
I know.
Do people come to you, or do you do it all online? Or do you have a combination
Um,
of both?
I mostly do it all online now. So then I've got a further reach. And you can just be in your own safe space. You can just have headphones on. I do sessions in the evening sometimes, so it works out really well.
And are your clients all over the world then? Or
Yeah, yeah.
mostly?
I have some in Canada, in New Zealand. Yeah, so it's great. I love it. It's just working through the time zones.
Yeah,
Yeah,
tricky. That's why you do the evening ones, right?
yes, exactly.
Because of the time zones.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
it does get tricky. That's amazing. What an incredible business that you have built. Do they work through one thing and then go away generally?
Yes, both. If
Mhm.
they've got a particular issue that they want to work on,
Mhm.
then that's it. We work through it and they go. But then some do come back because, as we know, healing comes in layers. And as we move and we grow, and there can be different things, different areas. So it's a bit of both, really. Some people might just come just for one-off, like inner child healing, the soulful session where we do the regressions, and that can clear so much. But I do have a package which can be either 6 or 12 weeks called the Kingdom, and we start rebuilding your foundations within. So it's like when in childhood, the things that we maybe didn't receive or that we just missed, the self-love, the nurturing, having that stability and stable. So we heal the masculine energy. We start building through your inner foundations, I like to call it. So it will be bespoke to the person. They might need more confidence, they might need more self-worth, they might have financial difficulties. So it's like whatever they need to build, and bringing in the spiritual element, we set an intention for each session, and then we go on the journey to receive whatever they need to receive or clear. So it's such a magical journey. It's so wonderful. Ladies have had amazing transformations from it. So in the package, we can work on different things each session: in a child, past life, the masculine energy, the mother wound. So we can do different things in each session, making it so that you can get to your desired outcome, so that you're living. And it is really that feeling for a woman, is like that feeling of safety, that feeling of security, and feeling free, so that we can express and talk and, yeah, just not feel held back so much. Mm.
Amazing. Amazing. Sure. I absolutely love what you do. It's and you explain it so well.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So
Thank
it
you so
sounds like
much.
it's all one-on-one, if I understand you correctly, or are you doing any group sessions?
I am starting to actually do some group sessions. So I do
Mhm.
have a monthly one-off healing that I'll do, and that's called the Purple Circle, because I just love purple, and I use a healing modality called the Purple Flame in a lot of my sessions, where we do a lot of clearing and releasing. So once a month I'll have the Purple Circle that people can come in via Zoom, and we might do some healing or a ritual or a ceremony. So that's just starting up.
Wow.
And then I do have 2 memberships. I have one membership for women who have been through domestic abuse and or childhood. It's a very small group, so that they can come in, feel heard, whatever they're going through, they can just be truly themselves. And then each week we do a healing on whatever just feels aligned for the group. So really nice. That's called Safe. And then we have a new one that I'm collaborating with another lady called Christy, called The Awakened Woman.
Mm.
And that is about stepping into your next level self. So it doesn't matter where you are on your journey, but we are kind of activating the divine feminine. We are looking to live your heaven on earth timeline. We activate the intuition. We listen to the divine wisdom of our bodies. It's just beautiful and divine. Christy, she's trauma informed. So we bring both of our magic together in a wonderful. So that's called The Awakened Woman. And the doors are actually opening next week on the 1st for that. So another
Good timing
amazing.
for this.
It is
We must get
actually.
this interview out there.
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
so
So
exciting.
Yeah, so they're both just really lovely, completely different, but yeah,
Yeah.
still magical. So yeah, it's great.
You absolutely light up whenever you talk about any of the work you're doing. I can see you love what you're doing and all of it. You're just so lit
Mm,
up by it. You've definitely found your calling. It's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
Is there anything else that you want to talk about in terms of your zone of genius, and the challenges you may have been through?
So yeah, another big reason why I do the helping the women with abuse is because I have been through it myself, and I know how much childhood trauma and domestic abuse can affect the woman, but years later.
Yeah.
It's just like so many women I know who've been through and they're just going through life day by day by day, but there's no spark there. Because in those relationships, you can lose yourself completely.
Mm.
So it's my passion to help women get their spark back, to take their power back, because the challenge of just finding yourself again, expressing your voice, there's so much trauma that will be stored in the body if they haven't got any help. Because over time, you feel like the wounds heal, but they're still within you if you haven't actually worked with anybody to release them.
Yeah.
So that's important for me because I understood and didn't realize how much trauma is stored in the body, how much it's held me back. So yeah, that was a challenge. And going through my own domestic abuse situation, I had to leave my hometown, move like nearly 3 hours away, and
Mm.
start a new life with my 18-month-old son. So that was really, really, really difficult. But, when I look back, it had to be that way for me to step up, for me to study. That was another reason. Yeah, because it's like you have to do what you need to do for your child, but it just took me down a completely different path. And that's
Mm.
where I am today. So I really feel I look back and I'm grateful for being able to slowly it took time, but to take back my power. And now I
Wow.
can help women that have been through the same. So
Mm. Wow,
yeah.
these are huge, huge things in so many women's lives. I live in South Africa, and the rates of rape and femicide and domestic abuse, it's horrendous, absolutely horrendous here. It's like a pandemic here.
Mm, goodness.
And honestly, there are so many people who need exactly what you're doing, and you having gone through it yourself and having to
Mm,
really pull yourself up by the bootstraps and work out for yourself how to be empowered again is just so valuable. Having that
mm,
personal story, and you must have been through the depths of despair, and to have
yeah.
risen up from that and become who you are, it's just amazing, absolutely
Yeah.
amazing. When you're in it, you can't see it, but when you look back, you can see how you had to go through that to
Yeah.
become this
Yeah.
amazing being of light who can help others. It's
Yeah.
just incredible.
Yeah.
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 Wow.
Definitely. Definitely. Definitely.
So
And it is
powerful.
my son. He's 9 now, so
Mhm.
it's wanting to do it for him. And it's like
Yeah.
challenging being a single mom. And I know when you have your own business, that one of the challenges is having to switch off so that you can be present for
Yeah.
them. And when you're building it, you want to be constantly on it. But then that's been a challenge. But he's a beautiful boy, and he has a heart of gold. So yeah, he's my why and helps to just get through those moments. So it does feel challenging. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that is so beautiful. That brought tears to my eyes.
Oh, thank
That
you.
is so beautiful. Yo. Uh, wow.
Thank
So where will people find you, Kelz? Do you have a YouTube channel, podcast?
I have a Facebook. My personal page is Kelz Allen. And then I have a Facebook page, which is Soulful Hypnotherapy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just starting up a YouTube channel, actually, but
Ooh.
it's not. that big yet. And I think I actually, when I first started it, I called it the Soulful Healer. So I might change it to Soulful Hypnotherapy. But I've got Instagram. In the process of building my website, so it's not fully live yet. So yeah, it's just social media. But I'd love to send you the links so that they're
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Yes, we'll definitely put the links below the post.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you so much for this time and
Okay.
space, and yeah, I really, really appreciate it. It's been lovely.
Oh, it's been lovely chatting to you. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Anything that came to mind that you'd like to share?
Do you know what I want to say is don't settle. Don't settle, because I think one of the things I've done a lot of my life is settled for second best, or settled because I didn't think I was worth it, or settled because I didn't think I was enough. And every woman and man, we deserve the best. We deserve
Yeah.
to have what we desire. So yes, you
Oh, that's
don't settle.
wonderful. What a beautiful thing to leave everybody with.
Oh,
Oh,
thank you.
thank you so much. You have an amazing message, and your work sounds really incredible, so deep and so needed. So thank you. I'll make sure everybody knows where they can find you.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. It's been great. Thank
Take
you.
care. It's